How you doing, everyone? Thanks for joining me. Before I get going, I'd just like to say a quick thank you to everyone for the kind comments that you left on my last video. Okay, let's crack on and have a look at some different options for some snow grips for your shoes. A couple of different types to look at. Just don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like below and leave a comment afterwards. Okay, let's have a look. So over the years I've tried a few different types of grips for your shoes, which you can take on, put on and take off as and when you need them. So the couple I've tried mostly have been Yaktrax and Kahtoola. So if we have a look at, this is a Yaktrax Pro. Here's one collapsed down, but you can't see it very well when it's like that. That's the kind of size it packs down to. Really small, really light. So a Yaktrax Pro, slightly different to a standard Yaktrax. Yaktrax Pro has this extra strap that comes across the top here. So imagine that without that strap. That's pretty much a walk version. And you can add this strap, and that's the Yaktrax Pro. So that just threads across here on there, and that just helps keep it on the footwear. So Yaktrax is basically it's coil springs that you can put on underneath your shoes, just like this. So with the coil springs just underneath, they dig into the snow and the ice and just give you that extra traction. Really handy to use if it's not too bad at conditions. This sort of thing I'd be more inclined to use on up and down the street, maybe, on easier trails, but not so much mountains or hills. It's more of an everyday kind of use. A lot of people will buy these for elderly folk who struggle with the snow and the ice, and they fear they may slip. So this is going to give them that extra traction. It basically pulls on and off nice and simply. This just pulls on, attaches over the toe, and same with the heel. So you do need a little bit of strength to pull it over, and that's what keeps it on. Just basically the tension of pulling it over the front and the back. They do come in different sizes as well, so make sure you get the right size. So the sizes they come in, they range from, I think it's 5 different sizes. They go from extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. And the extra small starts at a European 34, and it goes up to European 46 plus is what they say. So it's a little bit vague. I've got them, these are a size 46 and they go on fine. So they would go bigger, but if you are perhaps a size 48, it would be nice to try them just to make sure you can actually get them on okay before you buy them. So these steel coils, they do need a certain depth of snow or ice to bite into. So they need to actually compress into the snow or the ice a little bit to be able to give you that extra traction. So they're not very good on, well, they're not good at all on stuff like sheet ice, black ice. I was out on the video that you're going to see just running over this little clip. That was a fresh bit of snow on top of sheet ice, and in the parts of it where the fresh snow had worn away, it was still slippy. So these worked okay, but if it is really icy and there's just nothing for these to dig into, they're not going to get, you're just going to slip. So you're not going to get the traction that you want. And the Yaktrax do make other models as well, instead of just the Yaktrax Pros. So they do Yaktrax Walk, they do a run version, they do one called Chains, and Diamond Grip as well. You can't get all of those in the UK though. Some of them you can only get in the US. So you need to just double check on the website which ones you can actually get. So the Yaktrax Pro have come in really handy for certain situations. Just not if you're venturing off the beaten path into wilder kind of terrain. They retail at $24.99, I think it is. So the other snow grips I've used over the years have been the Kahtoola Microspikes. Now these are definitely a step up to the Yaktrax Pro. They give you much better grip, much better traction. But I wouldn't wear these along a street, for instance. These are definitely more for trails, venturing off trails and going up some hills. So a lot beefier than a Yaktrax Pro. They are about twice the price, but way more than twice as good. So the Kahtoola Microspikes do come as well in this little little tote bag, which keeps them neatly packed away, which is handy because the spikes are pretty spiky. So here is one, because the other one is on the shoe. So that's kind of size and weight. So they come with 12 welded stainless steel spikes, and the spikes are 1 centimetre in depth. So it's the same idea to get these on and off as you'll see on the video. Just at the beginning, right at the start of the video, you saw me putting on the Kahtoolas and the Yaktrax, and I got the Kahtoolas on in, well, I think it was about 3 or 4 seconds. That was while standing in the snow, whereas it took me about 20 seconds to get the Yaktrax on. So a lot quicker and easier to put on, but it's the same idea. It pulls on, I can do this, it's easier when you're wearing it. Pulls on over the toe and the heel as well. So that just pulls off at the heel and pulls back on again. So on the back bit here, that's got a nice little heel tab, which makes it easy to pull it on and off. So on the upper here, they have reinforced eyelets where the chains go through. So it's not as if that's going to rip through. If it was on some cheaper rubber, that would just pull through with the tension. But I've had these, I don't know, about 2-3 years, and absolutely fine, work really well, no issues, nothing is broken on them at all. So the harness, this bit on here, is a TPE harness. It's really strong, super durable. And if you're unsure when you're wearing them, when you put them on, there's a little bit at the front here says Microspikes. That's the toe end. So as long as Microspikes is at the front, you've got them on the right way. And of course, make sure your spikes are pointing down the way and you've not put them on the wrong way so the spikes are pointing up into your soles, because that's not going to feel very good. So when you buy these, they do come in different sizes as well. So the sizes come in small to extra large, and the small starts at a European 36 and the extra large goes to, well, as I said before, these are a 46 and they fit those fine. You could get them into a slightly bigger shoe, but much bigger, I'd start to wonder whether or not the fit's going to be right. So make sure you try them before you buy them. When you do get them for size, when you are looking for the right size to buy as well, they size them differently. So if you put them on a shoe or a hiking boot or a hiking shoe as well as a running shoe, you size them one way, but if you put them on an insulated snow boot, there's a different size chart. So make sure you look at the website to make sure you get the right size depending on what sort of footwear you're putting them on. So Kahtoola do different models as well as the Microspikes. They do nano spikes and they do exo spikes, and they also do crampons. So the Microspikes, it's almost in between a snow spike and a crampon. It's not as aggressive as a crampon, it's not rigid, but it is super grippy, and you can go in all sorts of terrain up and down some hills with these on. I'm not saying get a pair of these instead of crampons. If you're doing specific hill stuff, mountaineering, you're going to need crampons, but the Microspikes do perform really well. They're also quite loose. So underneath it, this snow chain, it does dangle about a bit. And the idea of that is when you're moving, the snow chain can move, and it means that they won't clog up with snow. If it was totally rigid, snow would just pack in there and clog up the sole, and then these wouldn't bite into the snow because it would have all packed out with snow. So because this moves, the snow should shed away. So that was Yaktrax Pro and Kahtoola Microspikes. There is also the other obvious option, which is something like the Arctic Claw, which has the spikes built into the shoe. But that sort of thing, you need to be wearing those straight off the bat onto snow and ice. So that's not always going to work. So you may be running from the house, you may have X amount of tarmac to get to, or you may need to go to a certain height before the snow and ice kicks in. On that occasion, it's nice to have an option where you can just wear your running shoes or your walking shoes, your hiking boots as normal. And then when you get to the snow line, or it becomes a bit sketchy, snowy and icy, you can then put on the snow grips. So Kahtoola Microspikes, I think they're £50–55, and I think the Yaktrax are about £20–25. Check on the websites. I'll maybe put a link below. There may be an Amazon link I find, so if I do find one, I'll put that below. So cheap and cheerful Yaktrax, good for certain conditions. If you're going to be a bit more serious and into slightly deep, or not deeper snow, just off the beaten track a bit more, where you're going to need some extra grip, the Kahtoola Microspikes definitely work really well. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. And thanks a lot for watching.